Hey everyone, up at my Bonsai Oasis, a rainstorm is coming, which might fill this to the tippy top. We'll check it all out. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. My latest trip up to Bonsai Acres had me start off by doing some building. Now, even though I thought I was done with digging and pulling weeds and moving rocks around, I had to prepare the site. But before the site was prepared, I had to unload the wood. Very excited to be having my new trailer because this trip, after I got up and organized a few things and checked out a few things, I drove up to Duluth and went to the box store to pick up some of the lumber for what's going to be my wood structure. Well, it's made of wood, but what I mean, it's going to hold my firewood for the cabin. Now, I hope to have a fireplace in the cabin by this fall, but if I don't, it'll be for down the road. On top of this structure that's going to hold all my firewood is going to house my next solar panel. So we'll have a minimum of 4, maybe up to 6 panels on this roof. So it had to be strong. After unloading a lot of lumber and putting it in the area where I was going to build, it was time to measure up and see what I was going to do. Now, my original thought was going to be a 16-foot wide structure, 4 feet deep. Now, did any of you just go into shock when you heard that? I thought it was doable. Thought I had enough space on the land. But as I was doing some measuring and looking at where the trees were popping up, the ones I wanted to save, and yeah, we cut it down to 12. So I had a little bit more wood than I anticipated needing. In the end, of course, I had to buy a few more pieces. So it all worked out. I have a couple extra foundation slabs, but you know I'm going to use those on some other project down the road. The trick about this spot was the angle, the slope of the hill. And it was moving downhill at a pretty rapid pace, so I had to dig one section pretty deep and maybe not do as much digging or build up the earth on the other side. Well, in the end, I certainly didn't dig as deep as I should have on that east side of this structure, but either way, I have to build up some dirt regardless so I can walk up to this wood structure and grab wood comfortably, so I'm going to have to bring in a little bit of dirt. Now, it would have been a little bit easier if I had dug another foot or two down on the right side. It would have saved a lot of effort probably on the left side. Live and learn, trial and error. I keep plugging away. The work went pretty good. I got a lot done on day 1 and decided to take a little bit of a breather, and knowing I could work on day 2 before the anticipated rain would come. Now, knowing that I was short of lumber, I had to jump back into the trailer and bring it back up to Duluth and go grab some more lumber. I got the bottom pieces for the structure and the side slats and a couple more boards so I can make sure I can solidify the top rafter section, which will be the very last thing I do. On my way back from Duluth, I stopped at a scenic overlook just to stop and, as I always say, try to smell the roses a little bit more, take my time. As I was looking over this beautiful scenery, I noticed the clouds were getting a little bit darker over in the west, and I knew rain was coming. So as I got back in my car and tootled down the road, I checked the weather app. And lo and behold, yeah, look at the system that's heading my way. Could I rush back to the property and get a few things started? I did the smart thing, y'all. I cleaned up some stuff for the rain. I put all the mechanical stuff away. I covered up my saw with a tarp and had myself a little bit of lunch, which brings me to the rain. And did it come? When did it come? And how big and bad was this system in the end? It is about 10 minutes before 3. I thought the rain was going to start at 2:15. Still some massive color out there. It's been really moving slowly. So how am I at sitting still? Most of you could probably chuckle a little bit and answer that question right away. I don't sit still very well. So I tried to wait patiently. Yeah, that didn't work. So I went out to the place where I dumped my last batch of wood for the sides of the firewood holder. And I brought them back into the shed and started cutting up some wood in here. I figured I could make some measurements, make my cuts. I hope I measured twice. And so I cut a whole bunch of boards for the back side and the two sides. And I got all those boards ready to go. So I have a drill and some screws. As soon as this rain lets up, I'm good to go. But if that doesn't hit me for another half an hour and it's been moving this slow, might not be till 6 o'clock that I get a chance to screw these in. What am I going to do for 3 hours? Could go take a nap. You hear that? Finally, in earnest, here's the rain. I got some cartloads of dirt to make things a little bit more level. I'm going to have to add a whole bunch more, trust me on that one. But I just like to take a break after doing some of those cartfuls, because after 2 or 3, maybe 4, I get pretty tired and bored of doing that shovel stuff. So I was able to make the floor joists go across and just kind of get things ready for the floor and the sides of this structure. Well, good news, everyone. The rain didn't go till 6 like I expected with the future radar, but it ended about 4:30. So I was able to go ahead and get the lumber loaded from the shed onto the trailer, bring it on out and get started on putting up the batting, or whatever you want to call this. These are 1/2 inch by 6 inch cedar planks for fencing. And I've used them before, and I thought they'd be absolutely perfect for this application right here. So we're giving it a 2x4 width in between, so it's a lot of air to keep that dry wood, or that wood dry, you know, something like that. So I've got the back side completely done, and now I'm going to start on the east side. We'll be able to put 5 or 6 or 7. I think it was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 high. We'll get this side on. We'll get that side on. And we will be in really good shape. having the bottom 5 feet all the way wrapped around good. Then we'll just need the floor. I'm not sure how much of this stuff I'll put up here. And then we're gonna have to find the pitch for the roof. So the solar is gonna be up here, and we gotta find the best pitch for winter months. So just like the passive solar green frame back in my old yard, the pitch has to be so when it's in relaxed stage, it's all winter long. We get that low southern sun. And then in the summertime, the sun is literally like right over the top of this area right here. And then you can lay it up more flat. But it'll be relaxed all winter long, and it'll put up on a little pedestal of some sort for the winter months. So we're gonna continue to put these boards on. They're all cut to size. So it's just a matter of having fun, spacing them out, and you know, cranking some of the tunes. All which I can't let you hear because I'd have to pay them a lot of money. Well, it's coming up on 6 o'clock and my muscles are sore. I'm damp because of the little rain that I was running around in. And, you know, I think we're at a good stopping point. So I finished all of the kind of shiplap, if you will, the cedar planks. And I got the top 2x6 up there where the rafters will come down in the perfect angle for winter sun, probably about 25 to 30 degrees. I don't have to go much more because the winter solstice is 21 to 23 degrees here in Minnesota, and but it's not going to be at that spot for very long, right? But for most of the winter, 25 to 35 is a good zone. I'll probably go about 30, 35 maybe, 30 to 35 pitch degrees here with these boards. So I can't put the front one on until I know the exact angle. Then I'll put the front piece on and get some rafters up there. What a fantastic couple of days here up at Bonsai Acres. More to come. I'm going to grab some stain tomorrow. I got some free stain coming from my son-in-law. Well, he's not technically my son-in-law, but they've been dating for 6-7 years, and you know, I kind of think of him as my son-in-law. So my son-in-law is going to be giving me this extra stain that he has, some 3 to 5 gallons of it. And we're going to stain this before we put any roof on or anything. So I'm going to get a couple of brushes here and go crazy the next time I come up. So we're not done with this episode just yet, but I got to take a break. Time to clean up and hit the road. A good morning to everyone up at Bonsai Acres again. I came up Wednesday night after a full day of running errands on Wednesday, came up and then woke up this morning and started at it again. Now, I got about 7 loads of dirt close to the new firewood storage area to kind of flatten things out. I only need about, 10, 15 more, and it's going to be, I think, manageable from both sides to walk in nice and level. And then I was able to start the floorboards. So I got these great floorboards on sale for like $6.50 a piece, green treated floorboards. I think they're 5/8 thick, so super strong and durable. And so after a little bit of cutting from the first section right in the front with a little bit of 4x4s to go around, it was simple 68-inch cuts and I was good to go. So here we are sitting down on the right side of the wood storage facility. So now again, this is 12 feet long and 4 feet wide from here to the back. And so that means with my wood, now I'm going to probably have a small wood burning fire in my cabin, fireplace. eventually. But I don't want a huge one because you just don't need a huge one for a space that's going to be about 500 square feet. And I'll have residual heat too in a couple of other manners. But for this is going to be probably 2 for sure, if not 3. Well, I shouldn't say 2 for sure, 3 for sure rows of wood, and about could be 6 to 7 feet tall. Both sides could be 3, possibly 4. Now I say 4 because my wood, I'm going to cut it about a foot approximately, because again, I don't want a huge fireplace, and so I think a foot is the biggest size as I want. And so I'm going to be able to have 1, 2, 3 feet for sure in here, with a little bit of a walk area perhaps in the front. So 3 layers thick, 6, 7 feet tall. This will be fantastic. And then of course I'm gonna have the solar panel on top. So I'm running low on my deck screws, my 3.5 inch, or these are 3-inch deck screws, I believe. I'm running low. We'll see if I have enough for this side. And if I do, I'll be lucky. And then that's it. I can't construct anymore up here unless I go to the hardware store. So I'll do that at a different time. So we're just gonna get that done. And we might make some measurements for this front board. But again, I don't think I'll be able to put it on unless I have another pack in the shed that I don't know about. So let's just keep on working. We're going to do the left side now. I've got to cut 68-ish or so. I got to measure to double check. I love when projects come to the end and almost completion. Good evening to everyone. It's a couple days later and I'm back up at Bonsai Acres after a few errands back in the metro. Now, on the eve of what's supposed to be a heat index warning back in the metro, temps in the mid to upper 90s and heat indexes into the hundreds Fahrenheit. Up here, right now it's 72, heading down to 58. It's gonna be a comfortable night's sleep. And tomorrow, I don't know if we're gonna even hit the 90s up here at Bonsai Acres, but we'll see. Now, usually I would come up to Bonsai Acres and I would just get right to work. Like the grass needs to be cut. And tomorrow's gonna be hot. I don't wanna do it in the hot weather. But you know what? I don't wanna work tonight. I just wanna kind of enjoy. So I'm gonna do something very different from my history of what, 42, 41, 42 now, BAVlogs. So some of the YouTubers I watch that are not related to bonsai are people who are creating kind of a life for themselves, creating an oasis for themselves, kind of like myself with Bonsai Acres. One of them's up in Alaska, and I think it's called Alaskan Cabin Adventure, something like that. I'll have to double check and put a link down below. Funny guy, great guy, him and his dog up in Alaska wilderness, and he just purchased a new chunk of land, many acres, and I've been following him for a while. And then there's this gal on the other side of Colorado, Utah area, kind of in the high Colorado desert area, who's got 40 acres of just raw land that she's gonna put a house on this year. I've been following her for 2 years. And what they both have in common is they do videos, well, I do videos similar to them. I'm showing my journey of Bonsai Acres, but they always have montages of them cooking their meals. Breakfast, maybe lunch, maybe dinner, maybe 2 montages in 1 episode. Something's trying to get me. Maybe my lunch, my dinner. So here we go. Now this won't be long. It's the first. It might be the last. But I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick video montage of me preparing some salmon over the new fire pit. So I'm on the road this hot afternoon, taking a break from the action. Yeah, it's really windy, sunny, getting kind of steamy, and I just need a break. I need some water, I need some refreshment. So gonna go and jump in the kayak in a few moments on the beautiful Kettle River. Now, before we do that, I got a quick errand to run, go pick up a couple things from Ace Hardware, and then I'm gonna head over to the planning and zoning building again to see what the status is with my building permit, because they said 2 business weeks, and that was yesterday, and I haven't heard a word from them. So we're gonna go check that out, do the errand at the old local Ace Hardware, and then we'll go jump in the kayak. Okay, now sorry for the wind, y'all, but I had to report this. I was coming to check on the status of my permit. Remember last time I went to the wrong building, came to this building, and this is where I was supposed to go to check my permit? Well, now there's a sign on the door saying they've moved. But of course, the nice thing about it is they moved back over there to where I went originally about a month back. Let's go see if my permit's ready. Good news, y'all. I actually bumped into Mike, and 2 weeks and a day, I went to go check it out, and he says, okay, now which one is that? And I went over to his desk area, and it was right on top, and on his computer, he was putting the final touches in. The permit has been granted. It should be in the mail, the yellow card, and the email. Within the day, I can start building and constructing next week. That is so pretty exciting. So now I just have to see if I can get that excavator so I can start my footings within the next week or so. Oh gosh, I'm so excited. But hey, you know what? We're gonna go relax and go hit the river for some kayaking. Oh, this is great. I'm standing in what will be a cabin this time next year. In fact, it might be a cabin, at least the framing, by November 1st of this year. That's right, you heard the exciting news moments ago. As I was going to go kayaking, I stopped in and we found out the good news. The permit has been approved and we got to start the footings of the 16 by 32 cabin / retirement home. Yeah, I hope to retire up here, y'all, and just be in paradise for the rest of my being. So here it is. It's kind of messy. I've been digging all this dirt to put into the shed, to put over by the new structure, down by the pond down there. There's just so much movement of earth. Now we're going to bring in the mini excavator, and we're going to get some rows of real deep spots here for the footings. But that's for a different show. I really can't wait to get started, but I got to make sure I get the excavator first. That's going to happen first, and got to get those holes dug, and then a lot of measuring and a lot of leveling and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be fantastic. But we have to wrap up this episode. So what's been going on in this episode? It seems forever ago for me because I started days ago. But I've been working on my firewood holder thing that's going to hold the second array of solar panels for electricity for the said cabin. So it's time for the reveal, y'all. So right past the cabin, to the west and a little bit to the north, you can't see it now, but let's reveal the newly stained and almost finished firewood structure. Well, the firewood holder structure thing. I think you know what I'm talking about. And there it is, everyone, the almost finished firewood structure. Yeah, we started with the base, with the cinder block footings. We got ourselves the structure, the floor, and just today, after yesterday's storm and a lot of wind blowing around, the microphone helps with that, I think most of it, but yeah, dried this out real quick, horse flies, and we got this stain today. So we're able to finish all the little bits and pieces to kind of finish this out, and this will house, will wood up to here. It's probably still tacky, huh? No, it's pretty dry, but wood as high as I can reach, and then on top, we're gonna have the solar panels. Now, this will be some metal roofing. I got the metal roofing and all the trim stuff to just put a metal roof on top, and then the solar panels will go on top of that. There will be some plywood up there as well for extra strength to make sure that those solar panels are properly supported. And I ended up going with 45 degrees, and so the panels can sit flat all summer long and be just fine. The sun right there is almost as high as it ever is because we're just past the summer solstice. And so this is fantastic for all summer long. And then for the winter time, what I'm going to do on the back side, I think I was going to put a little bit of, kind of like I did with my A-frame. I'm going to make a frame, some kind of 2x4 structure that's about two feet tall.
maybe a foot tall at least, 1 to 2 feet, and it's going to lay flat on the roof. But then in the wintertime, I'm just going to lift up the back, lift up that board, and it's going to sit on there all winter long. So it's got the nice angle for the winter sun. So I'm really quite pleased with the structure. Thanks to my son-in-law, well, maybe son-in-law to be someday, for the free stain, everybody, and that just polished it all off. You know, it's looking pretty sharp. I'm pretty pleased, I have to say. Would I do a couple things differently next time? Possibly. Will I put some boards up on top there so like crazy rains won't get in and get the wood all wet? Well, you know, it's airy, it's going to dry out, but I'll decide if I'm going to cover that up a little bit more. The roof will get most of the rain. But of course, on windy, stormy days, things will get wet. But you know what? Then it's going to dry out again. Because this will be the storage of my wood, but I won't be burning this like the same day. Because then I'll take some wood in a wheelbarrow or something and bring it about 100 feet to the cabin to be, and I'll have a little storage area there that's completely protected. Just a little one that'll give me a couple of days worth of fires. So if it rains one day and gets wet, you know, so what? It'll dry up pretty quickly anyway. So there we have a firewood storage barn, if you will, with some solar on top eventually. I've got more dirt to bring in here to make it level, but I can walk up here pretty darn easily on both sides. But we want to make the grade a little bit more level, you know, because I'm not going to be able to keep my balance the rest of my life. I'm going to start getting older. Well, we're all going to get older, and I might have a little more wobbliness to myself. So we're going to go ahead and build that up over time. But right now, there we go. We are almost complete. We'll do the roof soon, but I'm so excited to get that cabin started. The roof might have to wait just a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, you know what? That's going to do it up here at Bonsai Acres. As always, thank you so much for watching. I absolutely love sharing with you my journey, and it is getting, well, it's getting real, y'all, because the permit has been accepted. We're going to start breaking ground within a week and get some foundation work going. So I can't wait to show you all that, but it's going to be a little bit of preparation first. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.